Our snowpack has decreased for 8 consecutive years. As a result, we're seeing rising utility rates. In Washington State, we export $10 to $15 billion in any given year to import foreign oil, dollars that we never see reinvested here in our local community, and all of which have huge environmental consequences.
Seattle 2030 District is the first high-performance building district in the country.
I'm not familiar with any organization today where the board of directors or the executive leadership isn't being asked what their organization is doing to be working towards a more sustainable future.
Simply put, carbon reduction can help businesses save money by using less electricity, by using less natural gas, by taking control of your transportation costs, by taking control of your materials costs. You can actually save money, and you can save on carbon.
A number of interested folks in Seattle coalesced around this idea of challenging the building owners and managers here locally to commit to creating a high-performance building district by the year 2030.
The built environment is responsible for just about 50% of total energy consumption in the U.S. So everything that's produced, 50% goes to the building sector. And so it's the largest consuming sector, and it's the largest emitter of greenhouse gases. When energy was cheap and we were digging it up and burning it and not looking at the consequences and the issues, that was fine. Well, that's changing, and there are risks that are associated with continuing along that path. We're not saying anything is going to happen or not happen. They're just risks. And if you look at the risks are dramatic. This is not just the risk to a building. We're essentially talking about the entire planet. So it's an insurance policy in a sense to move towards zero, to carbon neutral. The 2030 challenge was issued as a challenge to get the building sector to carbon neutral by 2030.
It's a big experiment to see if Architecture 2030 Challenge, which has been just about individual buildings, can be successfully applied to a large area. It's a more collaborative model for how to get the green economy going in a big city.
It's great to see that we have a community of business people, of architects, of engineers, of energy management professionals that realize that if we are going to be a high-performing city, if we're really going to be the city of the future, if we're going to have solid economic development, it's going to take us all.
We've struck a unique balance where we've got a lot of commitment from the private sector. We've got a lot of cooperation from the public sector without regulating and forcing anything on anybody, but we just have all the right people at the table that can really get a lot done.
We're only adding about 1% to the existing building stock with new construction every year. So there's a lot of existing building stock out there, and we have to communicate with the various building owners and managers of those buildings to convince them, look, meeting this challenge isn't as hard as you think. We've done it. We can share the results with you. Let's do it together.
Our effort to be more sustainable, cut carbon emissions, and go green is a financial win for us. So economically, environmentally, socially, it's a win-win-win.
What the market needs more of is more data to be shared to build that empirical case that we need to convince owners, lenders, managers that this is the right thing to do. Not only for the environment, but financially, it can and does make sense.
The organizations that come on board with the 2030 district are going to come across an opportunity for great education, along with the tools and resources to be able to move forward and implement.
Those can range from audit templates, access to streamlined incentives and rebates and tax credits, to working with energy service companies, and also unique and creative financing mechanisms. These tools will enable you to be able to pursue and push energy efficiency projects forward that you may not have been able to do before. You may not have even been aware of before.
We feel like we still have a lot of potential to learn from others. Other developers at the table, other property managers at the table, other designers, sustainability consultants. We're all in the room together talking about this. Really for the first time locally.
We're not trying to burden property owners. We really believe that if they use all the tools, that they're going to meet the district performance goals that we've set simply because it's the best financial scenario for them.
Everything that we've seen as an outcome of the district's work today has been very progressive, very positive, and leading to the city's goal of being carbon neutral by 2030.
The key is to get everyone moving in the same direction, to set up the goals and the same metrics, the same timeline. And as these things spread, you begin to create essentially a planetary movement toward carbon neutral.
We want other cities to learn from any progress that we make, any mistakes that we make. We want this to be a model that gets replicated elsewhere, because we've all come to realize that we're not going to make a real dent in climate change on a building by building basis. It needs to be done on a large scale, and that's what we're going for here. We're going for a large scale.
Boom.